Hey, what's up? MarkKing here, and I'm gonna do two stories again in one, just because the kind of tying, right? This from Infowars. Anonymous Berkeley professor sheds BLM injustice narrative with damning facts and logic. Okay, this is actually a pretty good article. This was by Zero Hedge, and I'm gonna tie it into this here. This is Denver School Board vote unanimously to reverse police from school. Okay, so once again, I've been to these multicultural schools. The blacks fight with everybody. They pick on everybody. There's a lot of contraband, if you get my drift. A lot of gang activity. Okay? Will this get better without the police? What does logic and sanity tell you? Denver public school system is officially ending its relationship with the Denver Police Department, the DPD, okay? Unanimously this week to remove police from all schools by next year in order to undo systematic. So what is this? Is blacks commit more crimes in the school system? This all this is, and it's not fair that they commit more crimes. So the victims will go up. Victimhood will go up. Okay, real victims. The $720,000 contract city's police 18 schools last year, according to the nonprofit Clickbeat. Moving forward, the DPS will rely on 100 private security officers. Oh boy. DPS is deeply committed to affirming the lives of alright, nonsense. You protect the good from the bad. Okay, those who do physical harm, those are the bad. DPS noted that students were ticketed or arrested by police officers while at school at least 4,540 times from 2014 2015 through 2018 2019. That's actually kind of low. I expected more. The vast majority of the students DPS were black and Latinx, Latino, whatever this is, doesn't exist, Latino, ages 10 to 15. Again, this ties into psychology and human development. The most violent ages of like kids in the school system is well, I shouldn't say ages. Well, okay, ages, but also in junior high is where you see a lot of these incidents happen, because it's when the puberty is happening and they lose their emotions a lot. You know, all you have to do is twist these arguments. Like, instead of make it about blacks and Latinos, you say why are boys arrested more than girls? Then the leftists, the liberals, the minds they explode because they know the truth. They'll just call you a bigot. They'll call you a sexist, a bigot. Okay, this is about the death of the guy who had a heart attack or cardiac arrest because he's doing drugs. Floyd Floyd Mayweather, right? Floyd Mayweather. The perpetuation of school to prison pipeline. Nonsense. Okay, this is nonsense here. Earlier this month, viewed unanimously to terminate his contract within the police department. And right here, here's the money shot. DPS said its plans to redirect the funds from the contract to increase the number of school-based social workers. Indoctrination, 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 indoctrination. All these people are supposed to indoctrinate people because once again, I've been in the school system. They'll have these people try to so if a student's being bullied, the school tries to hide the numbers. Then they'll have it never works because people are what they are. They'll have school psychologists come and talk to students, but they never say who's doing the bullying. For example, the students just laugh it off because one, you aren't shaming the students. Two, you aren't calling it out. Three, you're just talking in generalities. And the students, like I said, they just laugh it off and you do the exact same thing the very next minute, the very next hour, the very next day. It doesn't help. People are what they are. Okay, so I'm going to tie this back in. So Berkeley professor, I think this was a black Berkeley professor. Okay. I hope I'm not wrong. I hope I'm not confusing articles. Anyway, um, okay, an anonymous history professor at UC Berkeley has penned an open letter. I think it was a black professor. I don't want to be wrong. Anyway, the UC Berkeley history professor's open letter against BLM, police brutality, and cultural orthodoxy. Dear Professor XYZ. Okay? Its recent department emails mention our pledge of diversity, but I'm increasingly alarmed by the absence of diversity of opinion. Okay? The explanation provided in your documents to the near exclusion of all others is univariate. The problems of the black community are caused by whites, or when whites are not physically present, by the infiltration of white supremacy and white systemic racism into American brains, souls, and institutions. My cognitive objections to this thesis have been raised by sober voices, including from within the black community itself, such as Thomas Sowell and Wilfred Riley. Their intelligent scholars reject the narrative. Okay? The problems of the black community onto outsiders. The black community will never fix itself, by the way. If they keep blaming others, you never fix your problems. Okay? So a counter narrative exists. If you have time, please consider examination of the documents. Okay? Overwhelmingly, the reasoning behind provided by BLM and allies is either preliminary anecdotal, okay, Ta-Nehisi Coyotes, undeniable moving article. Again, the only arguments blacks have ever made is emotional, nothing factual. If we use the precise same methodology, we would to conclude that the criminal justice system is even more anti-male than it is anti-black. That's the argument that should be made. Okay, it'll never occur. The reason is you don't want competing ideologies. You don't want the blacks and the females to compete for victimhood. The blacks will win, by the way. We would characterize criminal justice system as systematic and misandrous conspiracy against innocent American men. Question mark? You see, the type of reasoning is flawed and requires a significant suspension of rational faculties. Black people are not incarcerated at higher rates than their involvement in crime. That's the problem. Blacks commit more crime, they're arrested more. Liberals, see, they're arrested more. The fact can be demonstrated, okay? And yet I see my department uncritically reproducing a narrative that diminishes black agency in favor of right-centric explanation. It appears the department's apparent desire to shoulder the white man's burden and promote the narrative of white guilt. Again, this is just common. This is just another word for another euphemism for communism. Okay. If we claim the criminal justice system is white supremacy, why is it that Asian Americans, Indian Americans, Nigerians are incarcerated at vastly lower rates? Again, all these things point towards the family unit, right? All these people have strong family culture. Okay, all these Nigerians, Indians, Asian Americans. Also, they have the they're ruled by a patriarchy, and they have low divorce rates, right? And they know their roles, you know. This is a funny sort of white supremacy. Even Jewish Americans are incarcerated at less rates than Gentiles. I think it's fair to say the average white supremacist disapproves of Jews, yet they're alleged white supremacists. That's a good point. The white supremacists are against the Jews. Why aren't the Jews arrested at a higher rate than the white supremacists, quote unquote? Those are racist dog whistles. The mild minority myth is white supremacists. Only fascists talk about the black on black crime ad nauseum. Again, you see these things. This article is actually pretty fascinating, right? You see these things. It never gets talked about. Never. Only in the alt-right sphere Remember when they used to accuse everybody on the right of being alt right? Now they accuse anybody on the right of being a white supremacist or eugenicist. That was like a few years ago. Anyway, these type of statements do not amount to counter arguments. They are simply arbitrary, offensive classifications intended to silence and oppress discourse. Any serious historian will recognize these as silencing orthodoxy tactics. Okay, communism, Marxism, okay, leftism. Anyway, increasingly we are being called upon to comply to subscribe to BLM's problematic view history. Yes, they want to tear. This is the black bloc of the Communist Party, right? They push violence. They're the violent bloc, okay? And as you know, watching CNN, if you ever have, they'll claim it's not violence or violence isn't violence. Speech is violence. Words are violence. It goes against every faculty in your brain about what's true. What Marxist communists they tend to do? They tend to shout lies repeatedly until you start believing it. And some people are less able to critically think, analyze. Some people simply need leadership. Women. This is why women look for men. Okay, women want male leadership. If you ever go on dating sites, you'll see a lot of women want a man to lead, wants a man to pay, wants a man to propose, wants a man to fool with. If you get my drift, just replace the F, what sounds like uck. Okay, all right. Replace the end of the F with the uck. Okay, that's what they want. They want the man to do the work. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, and again, people cannot think for themselves. Okay, people need to take ideas from other people. Everybody takes ideas from other people. You have to take an idea and think about it rationally. Decide if it's true, if it's not true, prove why it's true and not true. Then you put it in your own words. This is how you take things in and understand it, okay? This is my problem with a lot of the school system, right? They don't allow students to do that. Anyway, I'm certain that if the name were attached to the email, I would lose my job, absolutely. Again, I worked. I was scared to actually say, like, look, you know what? And here's the thing, right? In the school system, everybody knows black students are the problem. I kid you not. Everybody is worried about slipping up and people noticing that all the kids who are black are the problems, okay? This is what I've encountered. Okay? You know who's more honest about it? The black teachers themselves. They actually call it out. They'll say things like, my people. They'll say things, oh, but the black kids, they're the ones fighting. They'll actually say it. They'll never say it out in public, within the confines of the school. The black leadership, they do talk about it. Okay? The vast majority of violence visited on the black community is committed by black people. Absolutely. Okay? And I don't want to read too much about this. I'll link this to the video I'm doing right now, and you guys can check out this stuff. It's a long, but it's a very interesting, well-written article. Okay? The person talks from a fact-based, logical perspective. Okay? This is somebody you respect. Whoever this person is, this should have made the rounds in every social media, every media newspaper. Everybody should pick this up. It says a lot. This is a great man here. Okay, I don't know how history will remember this man. This man here, Alex Jones, stood up against the incoming communism, spoke his beliefs. What you want is a man like this. Speaks your beliefs. Okay? Anyway, I'll leave it here. Share, save, subscribe, thumbs up. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.